Welcome back to another episode of Warren Cali. In this episode, I'm a detailed Compton rapper, MC Eiht. MC Eiht was born Aaron Tyler on May 22nd, 1971. Eiht would grow up in Compton and be raised mainly with his brother and his sister. After his parents' divorce, he was solely raised by his mother. Eiht would see a lot growing up in Compton, seeing a lot of gangbangers and drug dealers just by walking outside his house, so he would be easily influenced by what was going on in his neighborhood. Eiht's mom was always working, trying to provide for the family, so this allowed Eiht a lot of free time, and instead of having a normal childhood and wanting to be an athlete or dreams of a normal career, his aspirations became the big homies in his hood that sold drugs. Eiht would grow up on the west side of Compton, which he would grow up in the Tragniew Park Compton Crips turf. The Tragniew Park Compton Crips are a gang named after a park with the same name. They'll eventually go to war with several Pirus in nearby areas, like the Westside Pirus, the Campanella Park Pirus, and the Treetop Pirus, among others. Getting in the streets, Eiht would see how deep the streets was, getting shot at, losing friends, the risk of the drug game, and going to jail back and forth. Being in and out of jail, Eiht would get tired of it. He'll be put on house arrest, and while being on house arrest, he'll be listening to a lot of music. His favorite artists and influences at that time period will be people like LL Cool J, Rakim, and several local LA rappers. Eiht will be 15, stuck in the house, and this gave him a lot of boredom. This made him decide to take rap serious, and Eiht's mom will buy him some equipment, and this will be the start of his rap career. Eiht will start a rap group with his homie The Chill, who he known since middle school. Growing up, the two knew future rap legends like MC Ren and Snoop Dogg. Eiht and The Chill called their group Compton Most Wanted, after the show American Most Wanted. They would start trying to do demos, trying to be noticed. And by 1987 and 88, they would have producers down with their crew, like DJ Slip and Unknown DJ. They began making their first professional songs. In 1989, Compton Most Wanted released their first single, This Is Compton, and also another song called Give It Up. 1990, Compton Most Wanted released their first album. It was called It's a Compton Thing. The lead single on the album was called One Time Gaffled Up. It's a Compton Thing was entirely produced by DJ Slip and the Unknown DJ. All the song lyrics were written by MC Eiht. Around this time, another rising rapper would be making noise, and his name was DJ Quik. DJ Quik was a Piru from Treetop Piru. He would diss several Compton Crip rappers, like the Ho NWA, and Compton Most Wanted on his mixtape, The Red Tape. So Compton Most Wanted responded on his own album with a song called Duck Sick, but MC Eiht would later say it wasn't a diss. A year later in 1991, the group Compton Most Wanted released their second album called Straight Checkin' 'Em, which featured popular hit songs like Drive By Miss Daisy, Compton Lynchin', and a song called Growing Up in the Hood, will be also released on Warner Brothers for John Singleton blockbuster movie, Boys in the Hood, starring Ice Cube, Cuban Gooding Jr., Lawrence Fishburne, Nia Long, and Morris Chestnut. During this time period, The Chill was arrested and sent to prison for a few years, and he didn't participate on any songs on the album besides Growing Up in the Hood. Straight Checkin' 'Em was a bigger success than the previous album and peaked at 92 on the US charts. Compton Most Wanted dissed DJ Quik on the Straight Checkin' 'Em album, and DJ Quik would have responded his debut album, Quik Is the Name, but he responded on his next album, Way Too Funky, in 1992. Compton Most Wanted next album would be Music to Drive By, which was also released in 92, and another DJ Quik diss would come from this called Death Wish 2. They released a video from that song, and the group chased a DJ Quik lookalike in the video. DJ Quik will be having label issues, so putting out an official response wouldn't be as quick as his other replies. On that same album, MC Eiht would diss Tim Dog, who made a diss to Compton and NWA. Tim Dog would be trying to gain fame off dissing Compton rappers. Compton Most Wanted wouldn't make any more albums together as a full group in the 90s, as DJ Unknown sold MC Eiht Writers Publishing, and he misdirected funds and covered it up in a fraudulent business tax write-off. In 93, MC Eiht would be a part of one of the greatest hood movies ever, being Menace to Society, starring Tyron Turner, Jada Pinkett, and several others, including other rappers like Too Short, MC Pooh, and many others. MC Eiht played the role of AWAX, a respected member in the main character's gang. He would even be on the soundtrack on the classic song from the movie soundtrack, being Straight Up Menace. 1994, MC Eiht dropped the album We Came Strapped, which would go gold. this would be MC Eiht's most successful album. That same year, on Snoop Dogg's short film, Murder Was the Case soundtrack, DJ Quik would release a deadly diss to MC Eiht called Dollars and Cents. The song would later be on DJ Quik's album, Safe and Sound, which would later go gold. In the song Dollars and Cents, DJ Quik would make fun of MC Eiht's name, call him a coward, and say him and his homies ran into MC Eiht numerous times and he was scared. To make matters worse, at the 1995 Source Awards, DJ Quik would perform Dollars and Cents with MC Eiht in the crowd. That 95 Source Awards was one of the most epic award shows ever, and what DJ Quik did was epic. Many people expected MC Eiht to do something, cause DJ Quik disrespected him right to his face. Many people believed him not defending himself was a coward move, but MC Eiht would say he was in a losing situation with him being heavily outnumbered.
Tell me the atmosphere, because in 95 he came out on the Source Awards.
Right.
Performing.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much the diss song.
Yes, he did.
And you were in attendance.
Yes, I was.
What was the atmosphere? Did you know he was going to pull something like that? Or was you kind of just like, oh, did he really just come to fuck
Did
out
I
to
think
this?
he was going to pull the song? No. We all didn't. It was a move, because if you notice that the tension in the air that night, and it was a setup by a Suge. Suge like, no. You get me? You know. And that's what the perception was with Death Row. I mean, come on, they're in New York and they're
Right.
dissing Puffy and them on stage. Nothing we could do.
Yeah.
So get up there, sing your song, do whatever you're going to do. But we're not dumb. There's no way we can fight 50. I got 8 dudes with me.
Yeah.
So, but I always say it's the art of war. It's the act of war. When you in war, man, you pull whatever punches you can.
You just wasn't going to pull no Will Smith to get up on there and smack him.
I can't fight 50.
Yeah.
It's just not going to work. So no matter how hard you want to be or proclaim or whatever, you know, it's just the aspect, just like the homie. So, yeah, it's best to get up out of here. And I need to look at me as an artist and I'm sitting there, you know, while all of that's going on. No. So a lot of people saw me leave.
Yeah, I forgot all about that. I forgot that award show was in New York.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. It was in New York. And like I said, it was the height of the beefing. It was like basically the beefing was just from the start. I had no, like, even though I knew me and Quik had.
Even at that time, MC Eiht would have a run-in with Suge Knight.
One interaction with Suge, I wouldn't say it was on a negative or just, you know, back in the days, when I was having my little spat with Quik, you know, this is way before we got cool. The cool brother, you know, both from Compton, whatever, you know. Like I said, it's one of the coolest dudes I ever met. But, you know, back in my heyday, you know, I was a Crip, he was a Blood, you know, Suge and them was Bloods. That was just the nature of Compton, you get me? Unfortunately, my mom had moved into a neighborhood that happened to be right across the street from Suge's mom. So me being who I was and everybody knowing the situation, I would still pull up over to my mom's house, and they knew when I was over there. So it was one situation where me and you know, the Quik thing was going on, and it was a lot of back and forth, because like I was a dude who still hung out in Compton. They still hung out. Everybody still hung out in Compton, you know. And so I had a Suge pulled up on me one day while I was, you know, by mom's house, and he told me to pull over, and you know, a couple of dudes walked up on my car, and he just wanted to tell me, you know, as far as the situation that was going down with me and Quik, and, you know, like I said, the affiliations that it wouldn't be trickled over until my mom's place of residence, so to speak. You get me? So that was just a clarification that I got from him, that I didn't have to worry about anything going down while my mom was living in their neighborhood.
And what was the issue between you and DJ Quik, if you don't mind?
We just it was neighborhood beef. I mean, I was rapping, he was rapping, I was a Crip, he was a Blood. And so it just basically just boiled down to that. He was a Crip, I was a Crip, he was a Blood. We were from two different neighborhoods and we were rappers from Compton. So
in 1996, MC Eiht would drop another album called Death Threats, which was another album where he dissed DJ Quik on a song. He dissed him on Death Wish 4. The lead singles on the album was Thuggin' It Up. The next year in 1997, MC Eiht would drop another album called Last Man Standing, which would be his last album in a 5-album deal with Epic Records. In 1998, MC Eiht signed with Mac 10, Who Banger record label, and released Thicker Than Water, the title song for the movie Thicker Than Water, which MC Eiht will also act in, playing a similar character to the Menace Society character that he played. The movie starred rappers like Mac 10 and Fat Joe. MC Eiht recorded 2 albums on Who Banger record label, Section 8 in 1999 and In My Neighborhood in 2000. Snoop Dogg and Daz and other West Coast rappers helped MC Eiht and DJ Quik squash their beef. Since then, Quik and Eiht collaborated on various songs.
You want people to understand what happens in the streets. How do you get them to understand when your stuff is so hardcore that many of them don't want to hear what you have to say? As to use Quik's words from the commercial break, the healing has begun in this process. And the two of you wanted to make a statement about this whole gangbanging thing, because one of you is from one color, one's from the other color, and the two of y'all got together deliberately to try to make a statement about this whole, about putting this gang thing to rest. True or false?
I mean, true to a sense. We didn't really, it was a point of going, okay, we gonna make everybody mad. I'm gonna hook up with you, you gonna hook up with me, and we just gonna make LA mad. But basically it was just a process of going, hey, why can't we have the togetherness? Like when you look at East Coast, they all work together. When you look at down South, they all work together. And one thing about the West Coast is, Quik know it just like I know it. We grow up living a certain way, period. That's how it goes when you're from the West Coast. If you living in Compton, if you living in South Central, if you live in Watts, you grow up on a certain code. And it takes a man and a human being to come out of that and be like, okay, what is this about? And my part in hooking up with Mac 10 was going, he got a label, it's a West Coast based label. I'm not looking at it as he's from Inglewood, I'm from Compton. I'm looking at it like he got a label orientated to my music. He likes my stuff, I like his stuff, let's do that. Maybe if we come together, that'll make the people on the outside go, well, that was cool. Right. You know what I'm saying? Now, then, we reflect that and going, me and Quik working together. And then me and somebody else or whoever else has got beef, because if you can't do it at home, then you can't expect nobody else to do it.
And Quik
in 2000, Compton Most Wanted came back together for the first time since 1992 for the album Represent. In 2001, MC Eiht would be in a movie called 100 Kilos, which was about LA drug dealer Rick Ross. That same year, he dropped an album called That's Gangsta. In the 2000s, MC Eiht would be active, dropping 5 albums from 2002 to 2004, with albums like Underground Hero, Hood Arrest, Smoke in the City, Veterans Day, and a collab album with Spice One called Pioneers. In 2004 also, he voiced the role of Ryder in the San Andreas game. This would be one of the most successful games and love games ever. In 2006, MC Eiht would be a part of several albums, like Music to Gangbang with Compton Most Wanted, New Season with Brother Lynch, Keep It Gangster with Spice One, and solo albums Affiliated and OG. He will also appear on the song Candy by Snoop Dogg, featuring other artists. That same year, MC Eiht had a small role as T-Bone in the movie Who Made the Potato Salad, starring Jaleel White, Clifton Powell, and D. Ray Davis. Eiht will have several years with not finding a label and not releasing a ton of music. Instead, he would drop a few singles here and there, and for a short time period, be a part of a group called The War Zone, featuring Cam and Goldie Loc. In 2010, Eiht would do songs with people like Young Melee. 2011, MC Eiht released a single called Fine By Me. In October of 2012, MC Eiht was featured on the song Mad City by Kendrick Lamar from his major label debut, Good Kid, Mad City. Eiht later dropped the Keep a Hood EP on January 4th, 2013. Eiht's main focus would become being a parent, and he even would start coaching his son in football. In 2017, Eiht would drop his first studio-length album since 2006, with the album being called Which Way Is West. He would start appearing more in media, and by this time, start doing several interviews with various platforms. In 2019, Eiht released Gangsta Business with Compton Most Wanted, and has been fully active again in music, dropping albums in 2020, like Official, Lessons of Revolution and Progress in 2022, and Lessons 2 in 2023. And in the last few years, Eiht has even been on podcast Gangsta Chronicles, and has even did several more interviews about his life and his career. MC Eiht is now 52, and is considered one of the early West Coast rap pioneers. This will conclude this episode. If you haven't already, make sure you check out my previous episodes. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.